What's going on, Wolfpack Nation? We are back for part 2, y'all, of our 2024 early season predictions. Just as a reminder, once again, we are putting every single AC team in a tier, top being that we are expecting that they are going to be an AC championship game contender, meaning they're going to compete for an AC championship, average, bad, and then trash. And so far, we have Clemson and Florida State at the top, Georgia Tech and Pitt in average, Boston College and Cal in bad, and Duke in trash. But we have left off here with SMU, our second team, which as a part of the new members of the ACC, and we just did a little bit of calculations and realized we need to pick it up a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit, y'all. But so Michael, what's your thoughts here on SMU with their first year in the ACC?
Yeah. I think they won 11 games last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were pretty good.
Won the conference, won the AAC, not ACC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close. Looking at their schedule, I mean, it's front loaded. You got Florida State at home and then at Louisville, back to back. So that's a tough welcome
to the ACC.
Yeah.
SMU.
Yeah. But other than that, it's kind of easy. It lightens up in the back half. I don't know who all they're bringing back, but I think they have a decent amount of returning production. I probably throw them in the average category here.
So
go ahead, Greg.
So I guess the one thing we didn't really talk about is like, what is that threshold probably going to look like for losses to make it to the ACC championship game? Right, we're probably assuming 2 or less, right?
Yeah, no more than.
Right.
Yeah, 6-2, and you'll have to have some type of tiebreaker.
Right, exactly. So if you're starting off with Louisville and Florida State, you probably are already at that 2-loss threshold.
Right.
So then you got to go clean the rest of the way out.
Yeah. It's a good
I
point.
mean, I'll be honest with you right now that I'm actually leaning contender.
I kind of was too.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm saying, just like you were saying, Michael, not the toughest schedule, but also you look at some of the transfers that they're getting. I mean, they're getting a defensive lineman transfer from Ohio State, a D-line transfer from Texas Tech, defensive line from Miami, linebacker from Utah, wide receiver from Oregon, cornerback from Texas A&M, offensive tackle from Oklahoma. So again, just a lot of pieces that have played in some big games in college football. So I think you're bringing a lot of experience in, combined with what they already have already. They're already, coming into into the ACC with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of confidence, I feel like. So yeah, I mean, I'm leaning contender, but but I also understand as well that I mean, am I really sure that they can go 6-2 in the ACC?
Yeah, after starting with the FSU and Louisville.
Yeah, are those games at home or away? Just out of curiosity.
FSU is home, and then they
Louisville.
Travel at Louisville. Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna see, I would have probably wanted it the other way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, so Preston Stutter is their returning quarterback. He threw for almost 3,200 yards last year. Here's the thing, like you can kind of talk about it with Grayson McCall too, because they basically kind of the same level of football with the group of 5.
Yeah.
Is that talent going to translate to the ACC? Right. I don't know. Like, and Michael, you said in the first episode, you have to have really good quarterback play, which I think SMU does have. And we talked about the top. They have a top 30 transfer class. They have a lot of NIL money down there with that oil down in Dallas. So I don't think they're going to be a contender this year. I'm leaning more on the average side. But if they come to play and don't lose anything after those first 2 games, watch out.
Watch out. Oh, totally. Absolutely. All right, moving on to Louisville here. ACC championship contender last year. Which did not go well for them. So underneath second-year head coach, really for me, I'm putting them contender. With Jeff Brom, with what they did last year, with their transfer portal class, which of course is, I think top 15, top 10 in the country. And a lot of investment in the football program to get it back to, Lamar Jackson days. So. I feel like this is maybe kind of a quick one, an easy one for me, like just contender. Yeah.
I think that's pretty fair. Schedule wise, not the teams aren't tough, but they've got a tough stretch at the end of August or the end of October. They go at BC, at Clemson. They do get a bye week, but then at Stanford. So that's a tough 3-4 week stretch there.
More on the travel side than the competition.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But yeah, like you said, I mean, we saw Jeff Brom do it in year one with all transfers. You know, I don't think there's any reason they shouldn't be a contender as well again in year two.
Yeah, I would agree too. Just again, another school with a lot of NIL money, so that helped bring them a nice transfer class. Got a top quarterback from Texas Tech, a wide receiver from South Alabama, which doesn't really scream much, but that dude was a
He
baller.
was good. Yeah, he was one of the top receivers in the
kind of like our main man that ended up at Carolina last year with Des Walker. Kind of another didn't play at a big school, but was very productive. As long as their defense shows up, they're going to be a contender. That offense, that's obviously Jeff Brom's specialty, being a former quarterback at Louisville. So I give him contender.
Yep. So moving on there, moving on over to Miami, which man, this is the team I was looking forward to discussing, to be honest with you. Obviously highlighted by quarterback transfer Cam Ward. No, not the Carolina Hurricanes. Former goaltender. Transfer.
Though I would pay to see that.
Yeah, totally. So that's a huge get for them. I mean, he was a guy that was, that at first announced he was going to NFL, but then withdrew and decided to come back and transfer to Miami. But again, like, we could honestly just put the transfers aside. We could put the high school commits aside. At the end of the day, y'all, I just cannot put a team as a contender with a coaching staff that is yet to prove jack squat. Like, seriously, like this is still a coaching staff that not even 9 months ago decided, hey, I don't want to win a football game. I'd rather try and run a football and lost because of it. And this is still a coaching staff that, I mean, started off 6-2 and absolutely just let the wheels fall off the wagon. Yep. And so, and just kept on going back and forth between should I start Tyler Van Dyke, should I not? And they had all the talent in the world last year. They had arguably one of the greatest offensive lines in the country. They had a running back room that's arguably, at the elite level. Like, they had everything last year. So again, it's kind of like with me with UNC. Like, I don't care how much talent they have, because up to this point they've done nothing with it. Mm-hmm. So for me, I'm putting them average just because of their talent, and because Cam Ward I think is going to be a huge step up for a quarterback level. But no, there's no chance I'm putting him contender. I can't do that. No chance.
Yeah, I'm going to take a page out of our guy Eric McLean's book and said, every time he believes that the U is back, he gets burned, and I refuse to do the same, just based on your principles there. Good offensive line, think good quarterback. Are their playmakers going to make plays, and then is their defense? But at the end of the day, they still have a coaching staff that has to coach them through. So, and to your point, they haven't really gotten coached up probably the way they should be getting coached up.
Heck no. Come on. But Greg, that is a nice way to put it, man. Be real. All right. This guy didn't even want to take a knee, man. Yeah. It's like, come on. So, yeah, no.
And it wasn't the first time that he's done something like that either.
Right. No, exactly.
He's lost games like that before. So,
yeah. And again, this is still a team that, again, 2 years ago got crushed by Middle Tennessee State at home. So, yeah, no, there's no chance I can put him anywhere higher than that.
Yep.
So, before we continue, I want to take a quick second to tell you about our sponsor, Flatlands Jessup Insurance Group, that has your whole world covered, with agents in 5 offices throughout eastern North Carolina to help you decide how much coverage you need, offering policies for home and auto, recreational vehicles, commercial, crop, health, life, and employee benefits. They are able to combine options to find a comprehensive solution that works for you. Flatlands Jessup protects the things you love so you can spend less time worrying and more time enjoying them. Find them on Facebook and Instagram at Flatlands Jessup. You can also visit their webpage at www.flatlandsjessup.com. So please make sure to go and check them out. All right, so now moving on to our own flesh and blood here with NC State. And again, I think it's another one we could spend 2 seconds on here, y'all. I mean, Kevin Concepcion.
We'll definitely break it down.
Grayson McCall. Yeah, again, obviously we'll break this down a lot more as we get closer and maybe, around the spring game and things like that, or maybe after the spring game. Mm-hmm. But, transfer portal wise, we're going to be loaded at wide receiver. I think defense is starting to figure some things out. You still got Tony Gibson. Like, contender. Like, I still feel very strongly it's ACC championship or bust, but I feel like that we still haven't earned that top tier preseason yet. We have to go earn it, and right now I feel easily to say contender. So
yeah. I mean, it's hard to put us right at the top when we haven't been there, but easily contender this year.
Yeah, okay. Contender. We've been the most fairly consistent up in that contender range for the last couple of years, but you're right, we haven't broken through to be in the elite or top category.
Yeah, agreed. Alrighty. So again, we'll break that down more. Don't worry. Again, I know you were like, wait, that's it? No, we'll definitely talk more. Don't worry.
You're an NC State podcast and you spent 8 seconds.
I know, but again, I mean, like we could talk about NC State contender for 2 hours, but
we will.
And we will.
Multiple times. There'll probably be more than 2 hours. Let's be real.
Just not in this episode. So. All right, but now moving on to the direct opposite
next.
of trash.
This one's just as quick.
Yeah, trash. UNC trash next. All right, no, but so with UNC, again, it's for me a little bit of Miami where it's like, okay, like we could just move aside the whatever talent you have. Like at the end of the day, just UNC still hasn't taken that step. So I'll immediately say. I mean, I think they're in the contender conversation. No? If you're full dead set on average?
So
average.
I'm with Greg.
Okay.
I don't trust their quarterback.
That's true. That's a good
or
point.
their defense.
Or their defense.
Well, it gets, I mean, looking at it here, let me just.
Leighton, average. We're moving on.
Okay.
No.
All right, cool. Yeah.
No, buddy. Go ahead. No. Go ahead. Give me a reason why you think they're a contender. How about that?
Devil's
advocate. Convince us.
I mean, I do like their transfer running back Darwin Barlow from Southern Cal.
Is he gonna play? Is he gonna tackle too?
Yeah, that's a good. I get it, and then that that safety they have Jakeem Harris, right?
No, come on.
So, I know.
Too soon.
I know, too soon.
No,
right.
In all seriousness, they did bring over Jeff Collins to replace our boy Gene Chizik. So there are going to be is that going to make a difference really? And again. You're learning a brand new defensive scheme, and so how quickly are they going to pick up the principles and that type of stuff? So, but look, when you're losing arguably your best quarterback ever, and you're not replacing them with the same person, like
right.
So there's no doubt that quarterback's probably going to take at least a half a step to a full step back, or excuse me, the quarterback room.
Yep, I agree.
But they still got good running backs. To your point, I mean, Omar Hampton is going to be back.
Amari Hampton, yep.
Amari Hampton, sorry. I don't know why I said Omar. Amari, thank you.
Yeah.
Their running back room is going to be really good. But, I mean, they've lost all their wide receivers that were really good, with Des Walker. Now his grandma can watch him play in the NFL. So hopefully he'll be able to get, maybe the Carolina Panthers or something like that since it'll be close to home. But
And by the way, too, everybody always gives us a hard time about the out-of-conference schedule. Theirs is...
Is it
it's
worse?
A pretty easy one this year. Yeah.
Well, it's a very interesting one. Playing at Minnesota to start, and then you play UNC Charlotte.
That's a return, though. That's a return game since they played them last year.
That's true. Yeah. And then, UNC Charlotte, North Carolina Central, JMU, which, I mean, upset alert there if that's not, I don't know how much UNC is going to be favored by for that game, but, I mean, you can never sleep on JMU. And then all of a sudden, boom, at Duke to start off right there, right out the gate. But then, Pitt at home, Georgia Tech at home, at UVA, at Florida State, Wake Forest at home, at Boston College, NC State. So it
must not be that bad because Mac Brown didn't complain about it. So
no, it's a fairly easy schedule. It's a pretty easy schedule. So, so average hasn't proven nothing. Coaching staff hasn't proven the ability to take, the next step with the talent they have. Nothing necessarily screams like, whoa, watch out, at the level. So I agree. Average. Moving on here. Anything else to add before we move on, Stanford? All right, cool. So moving on to our final new team here in the ACC, and that is NC State. Oh wait, sorry, it's the other block. Yes, I apologize. Stanford.
Oh, it's Tree U.
Yeah, it's Tree U. Tree U. So Tree U. Again, a little bit of it is going to go back to kind of my thoughts again. I mean, it's going to be tough, traveling to, they have to They start off playing TCU, which that's a tough one out of the gate. But then AC wise, they go to Syracuse, to Clemson, Virginia Tech at home, to Notre Dame, SMU at home, Wake Forest at home, at NC State, Louisville, at Cal, at San Jose State. So I mean, it's a tough schedule.
They might only win one, maybe two ACC games.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm kind of honestly have them in the bad.
They're trash.
Oh, really? You put them in trash?
Ooh. Stanford, big time trash.
Trash. Okay. Well, I mean, looking at their
they were 3-9 last year.
Yeah,
they're 3-9, and their transfer.
And they don't actually have really anybody transfers wise.
Yeah, their restrictions to get into Stanford is so hard. They can't really take transfers. Yeah, they're 100% trash.
All right, I like it. Easy enough. Yeah. So yeah, Stanford trash. So cool. All righty. Just as real quick, we got 4 teams left here, but just to remind everybody who's listening here right now, in the top we have Clemson, Florida State, Contender, Louisville, NC State. Average, Georgia Tech, Pitt, SMU, Miami, and UNC. Bad, Boston College, Cal. Trash, Duke, and Stanford. Honestly, now that we've kind of filled out more of this list, I actually feel pretty good about Boston College and Cal in the bad. I actually feel like that's pretty fair, I feel like. So, I'm liking it where that's at. I mean, would y'all agree? Would y'all move Boston College and Cal at all?
I still think Cal might be average.
I think we're still doing pretty good here.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I think Cal maybe, but I listen. Hey, it's kind of go with your gut thing, Hey, listen, we unless there's like a convincing reason why we need to change one of these, I think we'll stick with it. All right, but here's the interesting one. This next team here, Syracuse. This to me is an interesting one because they hit the transfer portal really good. They're bringing a lot of excitement, bringing a lot of some big guys coming in with this first year head coach here. So their over under for win total is at 6.5 with the over being juiced. So that kind of screams average, and I'm gonna go with average, but I wouldn't be surprised if they moved into contender territory depending on how the pieces gel. And I think it's kind of tough to really put too many high expectations with a new coach. Like, I feel like it'd be tough for a first-year head coach to be automatically in contender or top territory. Like, I feel like automatically with a first-year head coach, it can't be any higher than average, I feel like, out of the gate.
Yeah.
So can I interrupt for one quick second? So it just kind of dawned on me, because we're kind of leaning in the ACC, right? So we've been talking about out-of-conference schedules and stuff like that, and really we should be focusing on how they're going to do in the ACC. And
sure.
So, we should be looking at their ACC records, not their overall records.
Right.
Because, when you're looking at potentials, where they end up in the standings, like
right.
If you look at a lot of prognosticators, they're finishing anywhere between 9 and 12. To me, that screams bad.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, obviously bringing in Kyle McCord, transfer quarterback from Ohio State, who started for Ohio State last year. Right there, automatically, Kyle McCord's coming in as, upper, like not average, but not necessarily elite. I would say like right there, maybe in that 4 to 6 ranking in terms of ACC ranking. So that right there, when you have a quarterback of that caliber who's playing games like that, who was a former 5-star high school recruit, you're feeling pretty good. And then you got a transfer wide receiver from Georgia. Actually got 2 of them, 2 transfer wide receivers from Georgia. So
that helps because your coach Fran Brown was the on that Georgia staff. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm going to be in the minority. I think they're going to be bad.
Okay, Michael, what you thinking?
I'd probably put them in average. I do think
you guys are too nice.
We'll do pretty good. Their schedule's decent. They don't have Florida State, Louisville, or Clemson. They got to come to Raleigh, but that's their toughest game. So just that right there, the fact they don't play Florida State, Clemson, or Louisville, like that's heck yeah. Like,
so you're basically saying the whole conference is going to be 6 and 6.
I mean, I kind of like how the schedule. I
We're
mean,
only at
how the
6
list
people
looks
at
right now.
average.
This list right now. I mean, you got 4 teams above average. You got 4 teams below average.
Yeah,
and then you got
I think we're
6 teams in the
doing
middle.
perfect.
It looks pretty nice right now. To be
It
honest,
looks
with
nice,
you.
but I think it's
too good.
wrong. I can't wait to the receipts. I cannot wait to the receipts at the end of the season and be like, maybe next year we'll listen to Greg.
It's just, well, I think as a conference gets bigger, I mean, we're at 17 teams. More teams are gonna fall to the middle in that average range, just by numbers wise.
But also too, I can make the argument that we don't have a single team that is whose over under win total is above 10. Like every single one of them is over under 9.5 or lower. So, which is basically saying that it's gonna be a battle this year in the ACC. Which, and because again, like every single one of the teams in the average has either a coaching staff or a talent that you're saying it could take you one way or the other. We're not sure yet, but we'll find out. So, hey, this is fun. It's a good little exercise here, right? All right, but moving on to Virginia, whose over under win total is 4.5, and is pretty.
Can we
much
agree?
split
Bad.
I mean, bad /
to trash.
Trash, yeah.
Yeah,
by the way, too, I totally forgot,
that.
but Stanford is over under 3.5, with the under being juiced. So trash. Sorry, what was I doing? Wasting time on that.
It's trash.
So
We tried to
Virginia,
talk you off the ledge.
I know. So Virginia, though, if I could pull up transfers here, I mean, not.
Yeah, they got 11 transfers, highlighted by Chris Tyree from Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's not
Wide receiver, and they got a Clemson tight end, Sage Ennis.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. For some reason, I see why. I'm in the wrong year. It pulled up 2025, not 2024.
Yeah, I mean, as you're doing that, I think there was a team that definitely got better as the season went on. I mean, they put us pretty close.
Yeah.
They think they were right there. Their defense really hurt them. They gave up a lot of big plays last year. Was the name of their quarterback
Calandria? Anthony Calandria.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be. I thought he was really good
solid
last year at times, and I think if he can take a step and they get some supporting cast around him, I think the offense can be better. I just don't like. Again, to what Michael said about Stanford, their recruiting is pretty tough as well. Getting players in there, a lot along the lines of Duke. So that kind of puts them at a disadvantage there. So I think I'll give them a bad, not a trash.
Yeah. Well, and I haven't even seen too, Michael. What's their schedule look like?
They've got open at Wake, BC and Louisville at home, at Clemson, UNC at home, at Pitt, at Notre Dame, home against SMU, at Virginia Tech. I don't know. That's kind of. It's tough.
That's a tough schedule.
Yeah, I probably lean bad as well.
So I
Borderline
say bad.
trash though.
I say bad because I'm eyeing I'm eyeing a trash team here already. So so we'll put it at
Lining up
bad.
your trash.
I know where you're going. Trash.
Yeah, Virginia Tech, totally. No.
Yeah.
Well, and moving right into Virginia Tech, I mean, Virginia Tech's interesting where, I mean, like, I feel like everybody outside of us is saying, oh, Virginia Tech's an AC contender. Like, watch out. And,
Yeah, they're getting a lot of the same stuff that Louisville got last year.
Yeah, they really are, which I don't get it. But
Because they don't play any. I mean, Clemson, they only have to play Clemson.
Okay.
They don't have Louisville. They don't have Florida State. So their schedule is definitely leans, because they got Syracuse, they got Stanford, Boston College, Georgia Tech, Duke, Virginia. They're playing the lower tier ACC teams, so that automatically gives you a leg up in that regard.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, transfer wise, they really didn't bring in much besides Aeneas Peebles. I think that's the biggest transfer they got in, a D-line transfer. But that's about it. And they didn't really get gutted necessarily in terms of transfers out either. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like contender just because really I think there's a lot of energy around them right now. I think if they're set up to take the next step. I think the schedule sets up for them nicely. So, and also too, just like the point we were saying about Death Valley, I mean, Lane Stadium, that's going to win you 2/3 of your games just because you're playing in Lane Stadium right there.
Yep.
So,
And that Clemson game is at home.
okay. Yeah. So, I mean,
Yep.
contender.
Yeah. I think Virginia Tech, yeah, definitely a contender.
And I think it's more. Go ahead, Michael. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think they return the most production.
Yeah.
In all of college football, so.
That's nice.
You guys mentioned the transfers. I think they'll be pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think they're more of a contender based on schedule, not talent. Not to say that they don't have talent. I just think if you have the right formula, the right equation, I think it lends itself. And their out of conference is very, very manageable. Like it's borderline laughable.
They got at Vanderbilt, home against Marshall, at ODU, and home against Rutgers. So, yeah,
alrighty, y'all. So let's wrap this thing up, man. I think we're eyeing it. I don't think we're going to spend too much more time here with Wake Forest, man. I mean, I think this is a coach, unfortunately, that as much as we loved, Wake Forest head coach, which we've been doing this so long, I'm kind of blanking. I apologize. Dave Clawson. Sorry, Dave Clawson. Like, in my opinion, he's still, one. Well, and I say this, I used to think he's one of the top head coaches, but right now, and even him, I mean, for him to literally admit that, like that he was questioning his entire football program in general after losing to us, like. That's a humbled man right there. So it's just, and then looking at the transfer portal, I mean, they literally brought in 4 guys that, I mean, none of them are really exciting. Quarterback transfer from Louisiana Tech, linebacker, offensive tackle, cornerback, D-line. But where's the weapons? Like they need weapons, especially with us getting Wesley Grimes, probably would have been their top wide receiver for this year. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, just trash, like I don't even know what their schedule is like, but I mean, they're over unders at over under 4.5. So like, what's their schedule look like?
Yeah. So at A&T, home against A&T, Virginia, they got Ole Miss. That's going to be, whoo. Lane may drop 80 on Wake Forest. Louisiana manageable, but the ACC, their first ACC game, second ACC game is at State. Home at Clemson, they're at UConn, they're at Stanford, they got Cal at home, at Carolina, at Miami, at Duke. So not the toughest ACC schedule, but it's still Wake Forest.
That's right. I mean, I'm seeing over under 2 wins for ACC.
Yeah, I'm seeing like over under 6.
Yeah,
overall.
Yeah, overall, yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know who their QB is going to be. Is it going to be
right? He transferred. The one that played against us, he transferred out.
Yeah, and they got that one transfer guy from Boise State, I think.
Louisiana Tech, they got a transfer there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
Yeah, just unfortunately rough times right now for Dave Clawson and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. But with that being said, Wolfpack Nation, this is our final list here. So just for recap for those listening, you got Clemson and Florida State at the top, Louisville, NC State, and Virginia Tech as the contenders, Georgia Tech, Pitt, SMU, Miami, UNC, and Syracuse as the average, Boston College, Cal, Virginia as the bad, and then Duke, Stanford, and Wake Forest as the trash. So let us know down in the comments, who would you move higher? Who would you move lower? We'll definitely love to hear your thoughts, and we will make sure to comment on each one of them.
It's funny the strong academic schools are in the trash category.
I mean, just saying. So it's a good thought there. But anyway, y'all, so with that being said, Wolfpack Nation, thank you all so much for tuning in here. We appreciate all the love and support. Again, we are on the road to 10,000 subscribers, y'all. So if you wouldn't mind, please do us a big, big favor. If you haven't already, hit that free subscribe button right now down below. Hit that notification bell so you're notified whenever we release any new in-state content. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this conversation, and let us know in the comments as well if you want us to do more episodes like this. So again, we always love feedback, and make sure to give us a follow. Tough to Talk Now on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, y'all. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. God bless y'all, and go Pack, y'all.